Hello, everybody, and welcome to Thompson. I'm William Blasky, and today we are in Automobilista 2 again for the first time in a while. And it's been, in fact, so long that AMS2 has made a lot of improvements, a lot of changes, and added a lot of content along the way. And it's not exactly so much the content that I want to take a look at today that I usually take a look at, but I want to take a look at the game itself, the core mechanics of the game, to see how much those have improved along the way. Because I remember when the GT3 update first launched, how night and day the feeling of driving a car was at that point in time versus the initial release of the game. So now it's time to really check in. How is AMS2 since the release of the GT3 into 2021? It's a new year for the game, and so as the game ticks on another birth year, it's actually its first tick on its year of release. Let's kind of see where we're at. How have we been since release and since the GT3 update? All right, here we go at the start line. Oh, I did that poorly. Bad start here. Sorry to everybody else behind me. This isn't going well. Let's see, as long as we're not going to get punterinoed into this first corner. Oh, is everybody... Oh, lots of AI... Okay. All right, there was a lot of fishiness to last start. Let's see, and including myself. There was a lot of fishiness even from myself. So let's see if this start goes a lot better. Still pretty heavy on the right side, on the inside of turn one. Let's see if they all dive in at each other. Yeah, they all dive in. But let's see. They make it through just fine. I think I heard a little bit of contact. If it was on me, that's not going to be a big deal at all. Ooh, cold tires, cold brakes, overshoot the corner. Let's see if I can get punted. No, they'll just... Yeah, that was a little bit of a reckless maneuver by that AI trying to cut me off at that last point in time to take that line away from me. But speaking of AI judgment, the three pillars that I wanted to judge AMS2, the three big bugaboos that I had were AI performance. As you can see, we've already been putting under a microscope, being kind of, you know, very not saving anything, so to say. We're not sugarcoating anything when it comes to AI performance, because that has been my biggest complaint for a while now. The second thing that I am looking at is the bumpy physics. Sometimes it feels like your car is playing a game of Hungry Hippos in AMS2, and it used to be a problem in that it would affect the way force feedback was reflected into your car. This imaginary bumpiness that isn't, you know, because of what would be the surface of the track or anything like that, is now affecting your handling. And I will say the car is still bumping along, as you can see us going through this corner, but it's not quite playing Hungry Hippos throughout the entirety of the lap. It is moving just enough to give me some immersion into what a real race car would feel like. It wouldn't be this, you know, smooth, you know, Cadillac going 35 miles per hour through a subdivision kind of feeling. It would have a rough, bumpy feeling to it, but it wouldn't, again, have this Hungry Hippos kind of appeal to it. So I think the big thing that I've noticed on that improvement is it does still happen. You see the car still bouncing around a little bit, but the big difference is it is not affecting the handling or force feedback that I can tell. And that's really as much as I can really find myself asking for at this point in time, because it does leave a level of immersion, and it also doesn't affect the way the car handles. So that is a huge improvement in my eyes. I would like to get closer to the AI so that we can keep judging them a little bit more. But then the third thing that I'm looking for is these oversteer-y, twitchy, unrealistic exiting. You just saw it right there a little bit right there. This kind of on exit, a little bit of twitchiness that just doesn't exist in other sims, or as for what I'm led to believe by real racers, real life cars don't have that kind of oversteer on exit like you would see in maybe a movie or something like that. So that is a complaint I think is genuine, a little bit too twitchy sometimes, the steering with AMS2. But on all three of those fronts, I think we've seen massive improvement. I think we've seen some errors made by me today in this video, but I think for what I have seen in AMS2 in months past, and what I've even made videos complaining about, has been addressed, has been fixed. And I did kind of want that point to be made, that Reiza has made improvements. They have dedicated themselves to this game. They are improving it, and they are, what I will say is listening to the community. They're listening to what people want. They're listening to what people are saying or talking about their game. Because if you do remember the last video that I kind of made checking the pulse of AMS2, was the release of this BMW GT3 that I'm currently driving. And my complaint was that I just couldn't put it anywhere near the limit. The car wouldn't give me any kind of feeling even remotely close to what I needed to be able to put it on the limit. Not being able to tell the difference between stopping and sliding and skidding and whatnot. And so that was a huge complaint. I felt like I couldn't even drive this car. But it is currently my favorite GT3 car in AMS2. So that has been improved as well. And they have made huge setup changes to the base setups as well. So there has been huge improvements made. And I think my last video on AMS2 was entitled, "Is this Group 1 update, can it solve AMS2's problems? Can it fix AMS2's problems?" And I think really what they did, especially with that roadmap, was addressed that those problems did exist and that they are out there. But I think really what they're showing us is now these updates coming forward, starting with this one, are really what has been saving and changing AMS2. Because the AMS2 that I was talking about in that video is not exactly the same AMS2 that we have today. Oh, that was my bad. That was my bad on that corner. But that makes me very happy. And it makes it more of a viable game to play, especially now with all of the content that they're talking about adding through this year. They're talking about adding 2 cars at 1 track every month in AMS2, and I cannot wait for that, because I have said it before, they need to kind of pick a direction of where they're going to take this game. Any direction that they take will be good by how dedicated they are at updating their game and making sure everything's running well. And so I knew that if they just picked a direction that was somewhat popular, they would do well, and they're doing it. I cannot wait for that new 90s stock car to be released. I can't wait to rip that around Bathurst and Adelaide and all the other fun tracks that car kind of really suits itself to, that AMS2 already has included. Whether it be the 90s, 2000s historic versions of tracks, or just the selection of tracks that already exist that would be perfect for that type of car. So I am back on the optimism train when it comes to AMS2, the optimism hype. But I am, is cautious the wrong word here? I am waiving my right to get off at any stop, I guess is the way I want to pitch that. Because, well, it is true that Reiza will always work hard to make their game fantastic and continue to fix it. There's been no denying that I have been frustrated on this journey since release, but I hope I am conveying a positivity, as maybe contrary to any previous video that I've made about AMS2. And I do hope that looking back on it myself, I've kind of been worried that I've been taking this kind of negative, hatery kind of tone with AMS2, and I guess I would like it to be known that isn't really the case. I'm not some sort of AMS2 hater. I really love this game, as Project Cars 2 was my introduction into the world of sim racing. And so I would like, I understand what this engine is capable of and what it could do as far as immersion goes. And so I can't wait to see how amazing AMS2 gets as it goes through its life cycle. But beyond that, I genuinely wanted issues with the game to be fixed. It wasn't just wanting to complain for no reason or anything like that, and my happiness is off to the charts because it does feel like that it has been actually listened to, so to say. Like, I feel like when I talk about AMS2 with other sim racers, we kind of all say similar things, and it's nice that those things that we say are continually addressed. And when those problems were at their worst, it was really hard to understand Reiza's methodology with making these, you know, very consistent, very fine-tuned, but not over-the-top adjustments as the game's life cycle went on. But now, you know, months later, we're at this point where this game is, you know, has really transformed. But it didn't just get here in, you know, in one update, like I was hoping, for instance, or at the time you were maybe were wanting. But the AI here seemed to be kicking my ass. I seem to have overjudged my ability to speak and drive at the same time with any kind of pace, because I'm not able to hold on here much at all to these cars in front of me, and making it very hard to judge the performance of these AI. But look at this immersion through the sun coming up, and all of these rays of sun making their way across the windshield. Isn't that lovely? All right, let's see. Let's see what we can do to kind of bring this line of cars in front of me. I wonder if we're capable of that. Let's bring up the HUD first. Oh, cooldown lap active? Race complete. I was just about to say, let me check the HUD to see where we're at. But that was it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys are thinking about AMS2 as well. I am very curious. I'm always interested to talk about specifically this sim because it's always changing, and I sincerely want good things for it in the future. Thank you guys for watching. I do appreciate it. Maybe for watching this far. I've earned your subscription and a like. We'll see you in the next one, and have some good races. Try out AMS2. Let me know.